a broadcasting legend in his own mind. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Sunday Funday. Happy Football Sunday. Got Stizz, your fantasy guru.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, Nevada Nick joining us. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well, Coach. Ready for, what is it, week 9 here? No, week 8. Excuse me, week 8.
Yeah.
So next week will be the official halfway point of the season, which is crazy to think about. You know what I mean, guys? That we're already halfway through the year.
Right. Crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
It was weird watching Big Ten football with teams that were like 1-0, and then you see Clemson 7-0. You know, it's like, what the hell is going on, you know?
Yeah, and look, Clemson now, they were down 15 at half yesterday, and I actually bet them in the second half line, so it was 15. So basically, if you went in overtime, it was a push. If Clemson wins, you win. So I bet Clemson, and obviously they came back fierce. And look, the first half they had a play where Etienne was on the 3-yard line and fumbled, and they took it all the way back. So that was it was really a closer game. It probably should have been tied, but that play is a 14-point swing. But man, they struggled a little bit yesterday, and you're going to need to get it together. It's probably good they had that game, Coach, because that the kid who's a freshman gets a little playing time. Because next week, Dabo Swinney said after the game, Lawrence is out next week against Notre Dame.
Right. It's going to be huge. That I know if I'm Clemson, you don't have your probably going to be the Heisman Trophy winner playing in that game. So I think it'll be a little skewed if Clemson were to lose that game. I'm just
yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. And look, the Big 12, Oklahoma State loses yesterday. That was their last chance at an undefeated team in the Big 12. Michigan loses yesterday, so they have a loss. Penn State now has 2 losses, and then Michigan's going to play Ohio State. And let me ask you, Coach, what do you think, man? Harbaugh, he loses to Ohio State. Does Michigan move on?
They've got to move on, because how is it that is the most fierce rivalry in all of college football, I believe. And I don't know how he still has a job, because he hasn't won that game. It doesn't matter what you do in the regular season, but you compound it. You can't beat Ohio State. You can't get into the playoffs. You can't even get into the Big Ten championship. So I think it's time. I think it's time to go.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. I mean, 5 years, some good recruiting classes, and like I said off air, Coach, that defense has been top 5 almost every year. The problem's offense, and that's what Harbaugh does, is the offense. So, yeah, I think it would be, it's time for maybe to move on without him. I know, maybe some Michigan fans won't like it, some will. But, yeah, I think it's time for them to move on to the next coach if he can't get it done this year.
Absolutely.
And, he's really struggled with Michigan State, too. You had the punt game where – obviously I had freaking Michigan that game too, where all you need to do is punt the ball and I win, and the guy fumbles the punt. So that one was tough as well. But no, I mean, look, we'll talk more college as we get on later in the year, obviously, and we can do that during the week. But we're here today for NFL football.
Monday,
right.
We'll get on. Kevin. Yes, we talked. Penn State does look like crap, and we'll talk a little more of Penn State probably tomorrow. We'll get into the college stuff tomorrow because today we're focused NFL. We got the fantasy guru with us, so
and he's angling to get the show team. He wants to name the name change. He wants to be Sundays with Stizz.
Angela, I would never outdo Coach. Believe me. I try to switch my name up every now and then. You know what I mean? You got to keep it flavorful.
Yeah, man. See, guy does 8 weeks. And he's like half a season in. He's already looking to get the show name changed to him.
We had an intern like that a while back. I think. Didn't we have an intern like that?
It was 3 weeks in, and he's asking me to go do his show with him. Like, yo, you got to talk to Coach. But obviously the big game is Eagles Cowboys tonight. I'm looking forward to it. And what's tough for me too. Anytime the Eagles beat the Cowboys, I love it. I love when other teams beat the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys, but like tonight, they become so. I hate to say this, but like pathetic as an organization. Like they win tonight. It's just like, oh, whatever. Like we're supposed to win, And I'm a little worried this game's going to be closer than people think. The Cowboys haven't covered a game yet this year. They're 0-7. I mean, point spread wise, I wouldn't lay 11.5 points. I can tell you that. But I mean, I think the Eagles win the game. You're getting Rager back. You're getting Peters back, and the one I think is the biggest is getting Goddard back.
Yes.
I think you might see a big game out of Goddard. Ertz.
Let me jump in. Wait. Let me jump in there because you got Rager back, and I think Goddard is because I think him and Ertz are kind of one and the same. So defensively, they're going to try and take that away. So I think the pressure more falls on Rieger to kind of step up and your guy, Stizz. I think it falls on those guys because if they start catching the ball and the defense has to adjust to it, I think that opens things up for Goddard.
Right. And look, Rager's going to take the top off. He's a speed guy. So you're looking for him to make a big play down the field. He did in game one to make, get a long pass, open the field up, open the middle of the field for Fulgham and for Goddard. What's up, Sammy? That's a Cowboys fan right there too.
Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan there, Coach.
He's one of those cockroaches in Delaware County in the Philadelphia area that actually likes the Cowboys. Jared, we're going to talk some Eagles real quick. So we're just kind of started the show. But now, Stizz, fantasy football wise, Eagles. Do you like Rager? I think Goddard's a good play today, just because I think with all the injuries to the receivers, I think and look, Wentz has always liked to lean on his tight end, and Goddard's a big target, especially in the red zone. I think he might be a good play today. What do you think about him and Rager?
I really like Goddard a lot. I mean, now with Zach Ertz being out, I would start him in a heartbeat. Rager, I'm not sure. I haven't really seen enough out of him to really put him in my lineup this week. I say you give him a week or so. Now they have a bye next week, of course, but you give him this week and see what he does, and then you focus on week 10 and see if you could start him in your lineup then. But I would ease back on Rager for this week. Goddard a definite go for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Rager's a wait and see type thing. What can he do? Right. The one I'm really excited about, man, if Fulgham can be consistent, that could be big. I mean, we're dying for a receiver in Philly. And, of course, when you got to watch, I say it all the time, but we got to watch DK Metcalf and all these guys we've passed on in the first and second round that are just having huge years. It's nice to see. And, look, to see somebody like him who's had a really – look, he's been really important to this team.
Sure.
And without him – we might not even have 2 wins. We might be a 1-win team. He was big in that San Francisco win, and he was big last, against the Giants. So he's been huge. And, I talked about this with Stizz off the air. I mean, the Eagles have a good opportunity here. They're 2-4-1, but the way their division's set up, you got the Cowboys this week, a bye next week, and then the Giants. I think they're 2 must-win games. They have to win them. And it's bookend too. So they got, Cowboys and then Giants. And then they're at the Browns, Seahawks at home, at the Packers, Saints at home, at the Cardinals, at the Cowboys, and then Washington. So you got this stretch in the middle that's tough. Bookend by what I would call 4 must-win games. What?
Yeah. And then 4 tough games.
Wait. So they're going to Green Bay to win, and they're going to beat the Saints? You're talking about the same Eagles that are 2-5.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Are we talking about the same team? Because you're talking like they're 6-2, and then they're high, flying high.
Coach, what I'm saying is you got 4 games sandwiched by a real tough stretch in the middle, which the Packers are in that middle. That's a tough game. I'm saying that stretch at the Browns, Seahawks, Packers, Saints, Cardinals, they're lucky they go 2-3 in that stretch. You might be looking at 1-4. So those 4 games
you might even be 0-5.
It's possible. That's why I'm saying these 4 division games are must wins.
Yes.
But if they can get the wins, Coach, you get healthy over the year, and then no matter what, I don't care if they're 5-9 or whatever, be 5-10-1. If you're in the playoffs, you're in the playoffs. And if they're healthy, they have a home game in the first round. Look, I think the ceiling on the Eagles this year, I think in their best year they have, maybe. And I don't think this is going to happen. They make it to the NFC Championship. And I don't think that's going to happen. I'm not saying that. But I think that's their ceiling. I don't think they can make it to a Super Bowl. I don't think they can win a Super Bowl.
No.
But I do think they could win maybe 1 or 2 playoff games. This is a team that has won a Super Bowl.
Again, I'm going back. They are 2-5-1, right?
Right, but how many injuries they have?
Like they're going to go and make noise in the playoffs.
I'm not saying that. I just said I don't think they will. But Coach, they've been in the look. Unlike your Giants, they've been in the playoffs the last 3 years, have they not? And they've been a good team. They've won a Super Bowl. They should have beat the Saints 2 years ago. Last year Wentz gets hurt early in the game against the Seahawks in an 8-point game. You never know. I mean, I don't think they will either, Coach. I think the Bucs are better, the Packers are better. I'm not saying that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is you're positioning yourself, if you get healthy, the record, as we all know, once the playoffs start, the record goes out the window. Stizz, go ahead. Sorry. What did you want to say?
No, I was going to say, and look at that. They might come into the playoffs, as a 7-8-1 team and win a division and get a home game the first week, maybe going against a 10-6 team or 11-5 team and get a home,
playoffs.
All right, Jim Mora. But no, I like if they play the Bears, that's a winnable game in my opinion.
Absolutely.
That's a winnable game. And then, Coach, any given Sunday, you get into the second round of the playoffs, could they maybe upset a team? Yeah. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But if they get healthy, especially along the line, you need Lane Johnson. Peters, honestly, I would put Peters at left guard and let the rugby player, I can never pronounce his name, Jordan Malaitai or whatever it is, let him play left tackle, let Peters play left guard, because they got to get this running game going. I mean, we don't have Sanders this week, but think, you're going to get Miles Sanders back, Goddard back, Ertz back, Rager back. Now think, you're throwing to Rager, Fulgham, if D-Jax comes back, is Jeffrey anything? Ertz, Goddard, Sanders in the backfield. Now things are starting to look better for the Eagles. They got a good defensive line. You got Slay at corner. They have no linebackers. But let's see, too. Maybe at the trade deadline they pick some people up. You never know.
Boy, Nick, I'll tell you, I'd love to see, going back to your Chicago talking about, I'd love to see that to be the first week of the playoffs matchup. Foles and Wentz, that'd be awesome.
Philadelphia wouldn't know what to do with itself.
Be a lot to talk about, that's for sure.
It would be. And it'd be a lot of pressure on Wentz too to get that W, because it's Foles, and if he loses the Foles, man, because there's that faction that really is split in Philadelphia between, and I'm a Wentz guy, but between Wentz and Foles. And look, I don't think Foles would have been able to do what this team and last year's team what Wentz did, but everybody's got a different opinion when it comes to Foles and Wentz.
Sure.
All right, Brian thinks they trade for a receiver.
It's possible. I mean, I think now that Rager's coming back, they probably won't. I think Jeffrey may be traded. I said that to Stizz the other day. I think Jeffrey, he's been practicing for a month and isn't playing. I think they're trying to trade him. The trade deadline's this week. I think he might be moved if they can dump him. I wouldn't be surprised. I think there's a reason he's not playing. I don't know what it is, but there were some rumblings last year that he was the guy that released the thing about Wentz wasn't a leader in that. So.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
I don't think guys like him on the team.
He's mad because they beat the Giants.
No. But my point is, the guy scores a touchdown and nobody comes and gives him a high five. No one even no lineman, no nothing. The guy that speaks volumes to me.
That's because they were afraid of the COVID.
And put up what Jacob said. Coach, put up what Jacob said. And I'm fine with this. They are 2-4-1. You're right. But I'm talking about they can make the playoffs. Once you're in the playoffs, I'm not saying they're going to, I'm saying it could happen. If they get healthy and start playing their better football in December and January, which they've done every year. They finished 4-0 last year. The year before off the Super Bowl win, Wentz get hurt. Foles finishes the season. They have the dunk game where the Bears field goal misses Bears kicker misses the field goal. And then they should have beat the Saints. Jeffrey catches that ball. They probably beat the Saints. So this is still a very good a team with a lot of experience. So if they can get healthy, anything's possible. I don't know, Robert. I don't know if there's a linebacker we can trade for, but they have no linebackers, and they need a linebacker. There's no doubt about it, and they got to stop disrespecting that position because the Eagles haven't cared about linebackers in a long time. I mean, we had Jordan Hicks. They did pay Nigel Bradham.
Trotter's the only one that runs. Yeah. I can't remember. That was the last time you guys had a good linebacker.
Well, Hicks was good. He left to the Cardinals, but he got paid a lot and was hurt a lot, so I understood it. And Nigel Bradham was good. But, they don't have any respect for the linebacker position.
I agree. They're aging quickly. In three key spots: O-line, D-line, and linebackers. They're done. Unless they fix that quickly, they're going to get lost in the sauce real quick. Yeah.
Now, Stizz, I know you had a prop bet you liked for this game. Do you want to let us know what that was?
Yeah, I could definitely throw that out there. I'm going to rock with Nevada's boy and whoop him Fulgham style. I'm going Travis Fulgham today, over 64.5 yards. Since he started, he's had 10-plus targets, and he's gone over 64.5 yards in each one of them games. Dallas is basically dead last versus wide receivers in the league. So I expect him to have another good game today. Should be another maybe 85-yard game, 90-yard game. So I'm going over. That's my prop bet of today. Last week I had DJ Metcalf. I bombed on that. They went Lockett all day long, every day. You figure somebody would have covered him at some point during the game.
They left Peterson on Metcalf a lot, and Lockett was killing him. I think he had 200 yards, Stizz.
He had over 200 yards.
Wow.
He had over 200 yards. And Metcalf was open a few times. He just missed them, unfortunately. So I bombed out on that one. I went with the trend. He was over 90 yards in 3 straight games. So I went with the trend. We'll see what he does tonight. I did pop back though on Thursday night, not live, but in the podcast, and I did give you under on Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
On Thursday night. And boy, did he – they sat him for most of the game. He was on the sidelines. They used Brian Hill a lot. I didn't expect that, but, I had
more explosive, Stizz, I thought.
Well, because he blew the game the week before. That's why.
Yeah, well, but he wasn't getting good blocks early on. He was getting hit right when he got the ball. And then he didn't look too happy on the sideline, but they ended up putting him back in at the end of the game, which, I was a little surprised about. Why sit him all game and then put him in the fourth quarter?
Right.
But yeah, Stizz did call that on Thursday night because I had brought it up, the prop bet, and I thought maybe over because the last game he had like 120 yards, and
plus that Carolina's run defense stinks,
right.
And, I get it, but I just had a feeling that it just wouldn't be a running game for Gurley. I just figured he would have a bad game, and he did. He came on late, but I don't know how many he ended up with. 50-some yards, 40-some yards, something like that.
Right. Now, Stizz, you want to get into a little bit of I know you wanted to talk about El Bell a little bit and put up what Angela said because that gets right into it, talking about the Jets. The Jets haven't made really any changes except for getting rid of they lost Mosley, who opted out, and Adams gets traded. But Stizz wanted to talk about a little bit about Le'Veon Bell today against the Jets.
Well, big game today, versus old team. Last week, he actually sprinkled in some yards. He had 6 rushes for 39 yards. Wasn't much, but they got, his feet a little wet. And, I expect it to be the same today. You would think against the Jets, what do we say they're a 20.5-point favorite Kansas City is today?
Mm-hmm.
It tells me it's going to be a blowout. And they should get up big. Clyde Edwards-Helaire will run all over them. I think Mahomes will throw all over them. And, they get a 20-point lead, a 25-point lead. I think that's where you see Bell come in, and they kind of sit CEH and give Bell a lot of the work. They want to get him on the goal line. They want him to score a touchdown.
I was just going to say, yep.
They want to get him some work. You know how it is. You go against your old team, man, you get hyped up for it. So, he's probably a good play today in fantasy. It just depends on how quick they get up on him. You know what I mean? If they're teetering on a 10, 12-point lead through the half, you may not see him as much. They get up by 20 by halftime, I think you're going to see him a little bit more.
Yeah. It's like playing a JV team playing the Jets. You know what I mean? It's good for Bell to get in, get some touches, get familiar with that offense, the things you need to do, and, picking up blitzes and stuff and pass protection. But, yeah, I mean, look, he's definitely going to help too. You know what, Stizz, too? Imagine – I would like to see both of them in the backfield too. Imagine having those two guys in the backfield just the way they both can catch the ball out of the backfield. That could be dangerous too.
Oh, absolutely. And I think today you're going to see him catch the ball a lot. Last week he didn't get any targets. CEH had four receptions last week. And, it's his first game, like you said. But, no, I wouldn't mind seeing that either. Line them both up. Throw a couple screen passes to him and see what he can do.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. But, that's one of the largest spreads of the of there. But I want to throw this out at you just to go back to the Eagles a little bit, some trend stuff.
Right.
Don't roll your eyes, Nick, okay? Okay? Don't roll your eyes. Because, look, okay, Dallas is projected to score 20 points in this game, okay? But they've scored a total of 13 points in their last two games combined, okay? So, how can we expect them to score 20 points on the road with a rookie quarterback, okay?
Yeah, but
okay, and I'm going to throw a Jim Schwartz stat at you. Can I finish?
Good.
All right. The Eagles defense allows 17 points and 315 yards per game at home versus 26 points and 380 on the road.
Okay. Well, you're good with your projections. You know who the quarterback is for the Cowboys?
I had no idea.
Exactly. So there we go. But,
a good old Italian boy.
Yeah. Now, put up what Brian said, too. Jets with the points. I wouldn't take Jets with anything. Sorry, Brian. I just wouldn't. Yeah, the one before. But, yeah, I got some winners for you today, Brian. We'll get into that later. I got some things I like. Definitely. Now, Stizz.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that Jet game with your money.
Stizz, we wanted to talk about some injuries, too. You want to get into that?
Well, the big ones that we know about that has been lingering on. You got Eckler. Huge injury, grade 3 hamstring injury. They're saying best case scenario he's back in week 11. I'm thinking, what do you guys think? Week 11, Eckler is set to come back. Another 3 weeks from now. What happens if they're 3-8 going into like say week 11, week 12? What do you do? Do you bring Eckler back? Do you just shelf him? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'd look to the future. You got a young QB who looks good. Derwin James is out on defense. You got him coming back. I think the future's bright in LA. It's just, I would, because that running back position. You don't want to, and I would think the same thing, Stizz, with McCaffrey. You don't want any unneeded touches on them, man. And you don't. And look, the Panthers. Coach knows Matt Rule. They look good under him. And, I know they're under 500, but nobody expects them to be where they're at right now. Right. And look, you're looking towards the future. I wouldn't bring McCaffrey in and let him get hurt. And we looked at their schedule, Stizz. Panthers got a tough schedule coming up against some good defenses. So I wouldn't put McCaffrey in and, let him get hurt,
Yeah,
Mike Davis is doing great.
Right.
Mike Davis is doing great in this place. So, I wouldn't rush him back either. Sorry, Coach.
And then obviously, too, we have, Patriots, Edelman's out. Now, Belichick said it's not for the year, but still, that's like the one weapon Cam does have. Who's their tight end? I don't even know, to be honest with you. Do you know who their tight end is, Stizz? You're good with that stuff.
I don't know.
I am good at that stuff. And you know what? Tell you the truth, off the top of my head, I can't think of it because I haven't really followed New England that much.
I know they drafted two tight ends in back-to-back picks, I think, in the 3rd and 4th round.
Right, and I don't think they're playing much. But, yeah, I think you're seeing it now with we thought Brady had kind of declined. I think it's more Patriots had no weapons, and I think that's one of the reasons Brady moved on too. So, Edelman being out, I don't know. Fantasy-wise, Stizz, I don't think offensively at least you touch anything with the Patriots, right?
No, especially that backfield. Boy, is that backfield a mess. I mean, their leading rusher is Cam Newton. I mean,
Right.
he's taking the ball away from them running backs. You don't know who to start. They have about 4 different running backs back there. You talk about running back by committee, man.
Right.
That's a true set of a running back by committee in New England.
Yeah. And then obviously, coach's game tomorrow. Godwin's out. I think obviously one of the reasons is they bring in AB because Mike Evans has been hobbling with that ankle, right? I think it's an ankle, and he's really kind of struggled the last couple games. What do you think about AB in Tampa Bay?
Well, they're saying Godwin fractured index finger. They're talking about him possibly 4 to 6 weeks out.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, when do we see?
He's not playing tomorrow night. AB's out tomorrow night.
Oh, AB's not playing?
No, he's not.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You're gonna see Scotty Miller, the Julian Edelman guy that I brought up, I think in like week 3 or week 4 we were talking about. You're gonna see a lot of him. I'll tell you what, I think you're gonna see a ton of Gronk tomorrow.
Yep.
This is gonna be a Gronkowski day, I think. Being short them weapons. I mean, so AB's out tomorrow. Do we see him the following week, Coach?
Yeah,
you think
so. Yeah.
I think you will, but I don't think they already said he's not playing. The last I heard, he's not playing. So I'm sure next week you'll probably get a heavy dose of AB in there.
And they got a big game coming up too. I don't know if it's next week or the following week, but they play the Saints in a huge divisional game, and they've already lost the Saints. And they got the Chiefs coming up in a couple weeks. So I think that might be the weekend of Thanksgiving is the Chiefs-Bucks game in what I think is going to be the game of the year. So, but look, I mean, Bucks look tough, man, and they want to get those receivers healthy. And when they're clicking on all cylinders, man, I know you might not lock them, but still, like them. AB, Godwin, Mike Evans, Gronk, those running backs look good. The line's playing better. If they can stay penalty-free, which I think Brady can keep them playing disciplined football, it's going to be a tough team, man. And that defense is really fast and can fly around.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That defense is really good. So it's going to be interesting to see in the next couple of weeks with those 2 big games. And I think the Giants is just going to be a warm-up for them. Yeah.
Coach, do you think there's any chance the Giants pull Daniel Jones?
I don't know. I don't think so. And the only reason why, I just think that I think he's taking enough heat already. And I just think you just leave him out there and let him take what he takes, get what he gets,
Right. So,
but honestly, I just saw a stat someone put up that at this point, he shares something with DeMarcus Russell. Same amount of interceptions and fumbles.
Wow. Yeah, so, that's not something you want to share with them.
That's not the company you want to be in, Yeah. So
now, Uncle Bill said Chargers possibly 3-1 in the next 4. I tell you what, Uncle Bill, they're going to need to go 3-1 to get back in the runnings.
Yeah, and they can get back in it. And look, Chargers are a team, man. I think it's like they've had 4 games because they had 17-point or 16-point leads and blown them.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Chiefs, Saints, and they lose the games. I mean, there's like 4 games in there. Chargers aren't a bad team.
And I'm surprised but they lost a couple of defensive guys.
Yeah, Derwin James, Ingram, the good defensive end opposite Bosa, has been nicked up a little bit. Melvin Ingram out of, I believe, South Carolina. They've lost, but still, the defense has really let them down because the offense is firing on all cylinders, man. Herbert's getting it done. He's like 3 touchdowns and 300 yards just every game, man, it seems like.
Yeah.
I know Stizz loves him.
I got him on all 3 fantasy leagues. I mean,
and when we talked preseason, we thought the offense was going to be going to take them a little bit to get going, and that defense was going to carry them, and it's been the complete opposite.
Yeah. And what Brian said, no, I don't think there has been. It might have been like early on if a team before they started. I don't know if they were doing the Super Bowl at neutral locations all the time, but
they have been.
They've always been. Okay.
So there's never been a team that hosts the Super Bowl. No, there's never been.
Yeah. Well, I thought like early on.
The Saints would have, but because of Katrina, it was moved. If you remember,
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Saints
Yeah,
would have hosted the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
but
that's crazy. No, it really is, man. And look, I can't believe you're so down on the Eagles if they get healthy, though. I mean, I understand they look bad, but you don't attribute that to injuries at all, Coach?
Oh, of course, but it is the injuries. But I just think that they're missing something too. That it's just not. There's something there that's not. It's not, and maybe, and I still think that Carson Wentz is not the guy.
I disagree with that completely. I mean, look, you haven't been able to see him play with his full complement of players. The last time he did was the Super Bowl year. I mean, last year you get injured all. I mean, they've had a lot of issues with injuries, and I don't know what that is. I don't understand the reason for that.
There. Thank you, Kevin.
No, that's look. I've killed Doug for how long? How many times you heard me screaming about running the ball? And with a guy like Miles Sanders, you got to do it. And it takes pressure off Wentz, but let's not lie to and look around. I mean, Wentz is getting killed out there. I mean, and I know everybody thinks I'm the excuse guy for Wentz, but I mean, I think if you really look at it, this was a guy when he was playing at the top of his game was playing at an MVP level. Before he got hurt, he was going to be MVP.
Look, Brian, I'm not jealous. Okay? I'm not jealous. Okay?
He's better than
I'm not jealous. All right.
Brian.
I'm not. I just think that the Eagles are not playing. There's that thing. There's something there. The chemistry, something's missing, and I think it's beyond the injury. So,
it's hard, Coach, when you can't get a team on the field, and they really haven't all year.
Look, I'm dealing it with the Giants. Look at it. I mean, you can't get an offensive line. I mean, and I can't believe they didn't move the Giant game because of one guy having COVID. I'm really upset about it. I'm just absolutely, it's livid. It's a conspiracy against the Giants.
Yeah.
The NFL is against them.
Well, and the problem with the Giants, too, is you have the 4th pick now, and you look at the kid from the Buccaneers, Wirfs, who looks so good, and Andrew Thomas doesn't look good. Now, it's early. Give it time. But still, it looks like another bad Gettleman pick. And the Giants are just loaded with them.
And here's the thing. The 3rd round pick, Pert, looked a lot better than he did at tackle. So I mean, I don't know. I just think that other kid. And how do you fit him in? You got to put him in. I think Andrew Thomas should sit down. Okay. Now there's a guy I think sits down.
Well, your 1st round pick. That's not good. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't care, I'd like to real quick get in a little AFC East. I know it's not what. But I really think
AFC East.
All right, settle down there, Captain. No, but I really think legitimately, and I know I said last week, but I think the Dolphins really got a shot at this division. So if you look at the Dolphins, if they can get a win today, they're playing the Rams at home, but I think it's a very winnable game. Dolphins defense is pretty good. I really like their defense. If Tua can get that offense a little jolt and get them going, Dolphins could be a good team. I mean, they go the Rams today at home, but then at Arizona, Chargers at home, at Broncos, at Jets, Bengals at home. That's a pretty good stretch where I think they can get some wins. Then they play at home against the Chiefs, at home against the Patriots, at Raiders, at Bills. But if they can position themselves where you're going into Week 17, I know it's at Buffalo, but still, where that's a play to win the division type game, they got a shot. I mean, Bills got a tough schedule. They got, New England today in a must-win game for New England. They got the Seahawks. Then they're at the Cardinals, Chargers at home, at the Niners, Steelers at home, at the Broncos, at the Pats, and then the Dolphins game to end the season. I mean, I really think the Dolphins, especially if Tua can play well, have a shot at this AFC East title. The Bills' offense has definitely taken a step back, and the defense really looks to be the defense really looks good. I mean, the Bills' defense is struggling. I mean, I was thinking about the Dolphins, but the Bills' defense is struggling. They really are. And it's surprising because I thought that was going to be the one thing they could count on going into the year. And the offense is, like I said, taking a step back. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, they've only had one good game so far this year, and that was against the Jets last week. Buffalo's defense. Yeah, I'm surprised too.
Right.
They were giving up a ton of points, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
But wait a second. Buffalo's only 2 losses. Only 2 losses. All right. Hold on. Let me bring up my stat again. Let me get to it.
It's not his stat. It's somebody else's stat. That's what I love. The guy can't even be original thoughts. It's got to be somebody else's.
You're absolutely right, man. I get. We get fans all over. They send me stuff, and so I want to use it. Well,
wrong with that, Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to? Do you have it? Now, do you have it, Coach? You want to?
I want to bring it up, man.
Right.
Okay.
And then we get into Stizz's fantasy play.
Yeah. Well, Buffalo their 2 losses. Tennessee and Kansas City are combined 11-2.
Yeah, no, you're right. But their other wins, though, weren't against good teams. So you could go both ways with that. I mean, you're right.
I mean, they beat the Raiders. So, I mean.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and that's probably their best win. The other ones were all, teams that weren't that great, I'm pretty sure. I'm drawing a blank on. Well, they beat the Dolphins. That's a good win, Tim. Dolphins are a good team. But, Stizz, you want to get into your stardom, settings, your waiver pickups if there's any? And,
absolutely. That's why I'm here, right? On Sundays.
Right,
Hey, listen, last week I gave you the hot take, Lincoln Financial Field turf, huh? And guess what? They went across the fantasy leagues from 2% ownership all the way up to 96% ownership. The fantasy wise guys should dump on them quick. They're going to use them this Sunday night. So good heads up by them wise guys. So this week I'm going Chase Edmonds. Arizona running back. They're on bye this week, so if you can get them, you're going to want to stash them again for next week. I slept on them, unfortunately, man. I've been talking about them. I've been looking at them for the last couple of weeks. I drug my feet, and I'm kind of PO'd at myself because I wasn't able to get them in any of my leagues because I waited too long.
Hey, Stiz, hold on. Can I give you a piece of advice?
What?
Absolutely.
Maybe you should do your fantasy stuff before you come on the show and talk about it and give everybody the opportunity to get in and get their you're giving it an advantage to the guys in your 17 different leagues you're in.
I know. And I'm sure a few of them are watching right now too. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe I'll give them some false advice. No, so Kenyon Drake, he's out 3 to 6 weeks, it looks like, with another high ankle sprain. Seems prevalent across the league anymore. It's unbelievable. Chase Edmonds has actually been outdoing him. He's been outplaying him the last few weeks. And like I said, I slept on him, unfortunately. Week 9, when they come back off a bye, they go against Miami, 7th worst against running backs. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to try to get him in your lineup. Next guy I'm looking at, Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver, San Fran.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel's out week 8. The running back, Nick will talk about them in a little bit. The running back situation in San Fran is just all over the place.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk had his first career 100-yard receiving game against New England last week. I'm looking for him to have another huge game. Going against Seattle, we all know Seattle gives up the most fantasy points per game to wide receivers.
Yeah, most yards too per game as a defense.
Yards. Yes, correct. That is absolutely correct. Third waiver wire, real quick, and I never give out defenses, but I'm going to give out this one. We talked about it a little earlier. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 5th overall defense in the league, allowed fewest rush yards in the NFL per game, and we see the Giants' backfield is all banged up. So, I mean, they're going to come after Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, what do we look for? We look for fumbling issues. We look for interceptions. Tampa Bay's going to be all over them for sure.
Football.
Yeah.
Crazy stat I found, Tampa Bay's defense only allowed one running back to rush for over 29 yards so far this year. That's absolutely nuts. 29 yards. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So get them guys on your waiver wire if you can. I'm going to give you a quick start of the week. I'm going Jonathan Taylor, man. I have him in a couple of my leagues. He's been mediocre at best most of the year. He's been averaging, about 15 fantasy points per game. I'm looking for a breakout game today. He's fresh coming off a bye. Lions have given up 9 rushing touchdowns in the last 5 games. So I'm hoping Jonathan Taylor can bang him out today. 5th worst against the run, Detroit Lions. And Frank Reich, from what I've seen, he's been working on some running back schemes, some different, maybe out routes, some different screen passes and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that Jonathan Taylor, puts in a good game today.
Reich will stick with the running game too. That was the one thing I think the Eagles missed was him and Doug Zier saying run the ball.
And we see how the receivers aren't really doing much. I mean, how many times have we talked about Phillip Rivers? How many times have we talked about T.Y. Hilton? They're not getting much, out of them.
Right, and that's the one thing that worries me about the Colts is that they may, package, put 8 in a box and just say, all right, let Phillip Rivers beat me. We'll see. But I think Matt Patricia, as coach knows, and Stizz, Belichick was always like, he's going to take what you do best away and make you go to your secondary option. That's what Belichick always does. So I would think Patricia's really going to focus on trying this because if the Colts can run the ball, they're going to lose. Look, Lions are done. If the Colts have success running, they're going to lose.
And they got Griffin. He's playing, I'm assuming, right? They got Griffin from the Cowboys in the trade, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I'm pretty sure he's playing. He should be. Yeah. I mean that should help too. But and look, you're going against Phillip Rivers. You're licking your chops because he's like a statue back there.
Yeah. Like we said, in quicksand.
Yeah, it's the truth.
So sit of the week. I'm going back to the well. I gave you Drew Brees last week. He had a pretty decent game last week without them receivers starting. I'm going back to the well again, and I'm telling you to sit Drew Brees. Chicago's defense, fewest points allowed to quarterbacks, 13 per game, which is a pretty damn stifling defense. No Thomas again. No Emmanuel Sanders again. Marcus Callaway last week came in to replace Sanders. He had 8 catches for 75 yards. He's got an ankle injury. He's out too. So now, once again, we're looking Traquan Smith is your number 1 wide receiver today. Jared Cook, tight end, and, a heavy dose of the running game, I would think. I just, against that defense, I would sit Drew Brees because I don't think he has enough weapons. We're going to see when Mike Thomas is going to come back. I really don't know. They keep on pushing it back.
Yeah, there's another injury, too. It's just like, you keep on thinking every week he's going to come back. Then he gets suspended for punching the kid during practice. Then – or I think that's a little bit, Coach, to try to get him to get back in gear and follow the program a little bit, because it's like I said, they're in a bad cap situation, worse than the Eagles. They gave him a huge deal. That would be a huge cap hit if they trade him. And if it is, I think it's saying we're moving on, and meaning too like from Breeze, because you trade him, I don't think you can even have a shot. I don't think they have a shot at the Super Bowl anyway, but without Michael Thomas, they definitely don't. So, yeah, I mean, you're right, Stizz. It's been, like I said, he gets suspended, and then what did he tweak his hamstring, Stizz? Isn't that what happened?
A high ankle sprain. He's got a high ankle sprain, just like the rest of the players.
But but I thought he tweaked his hamstring, and that's why he didn't play again or something.
Yeah, he did. Okay. Yeah, a couple weeks later he did. So that's why he wasn't back.
Yeah, and then now Kevin asked, Tevin Coleman, is he playing this week for the Niners?
He's coming off IR. He's questionable going in, and we're going to talk maybe a couple minutes about that. About that Seattle and San Fran backfield. That's a mess.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's Carson's out because I had said to Stizz about picking up. I watched the game last Sunday. Carlos Hyde looked good. I didn't know he got hurt. Yeah, so you said Carlos Hyde's out for the Seahawks, right?
Carlos Hyde is possibly out. That Travis Homer was their third running back. He's possibly out as well. So now you're going. Now you're going with the rookie, DJ Dallas, possibly against the rookie for San Fran, Michael Hasty. Rookie versus rookie. I don't know. There are going to be game time decisions. There's going to be a couple guys out. We just don't know. It's you're going to have
that's
really
tough. Yeah,
it is.
With a game like that, is that a 4:00 game today?
I believe it's a 4:00 game. So at least
you got 1 o'clock. You got to make a decision. And it's a game time. They aren't going to announce it until 3:30. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
It's tough. I mean, and look, a team like Seattle, Seattle's going to run the ball still. I mean, Pete Carroll likes to run the ball, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you would start Dallas. Would you play Dallas or would you stay away?
No,
Okay.
I would stay away. Steve Putt, what's up, buddy? How you doing, my man?
And then the 49ers, too, a ton of injuries in the backfield. Mostert's out. You just said Coleman unsure.
Right.
The kid who looked good last week, was it Jeff Wilson was his name?
Jeff Wilson, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He's on IR now. Yeah.
Oh.
Broken, I don't know, broken ankle maybe, something like that. But, yeah, he had a monster game last week. That's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is. It is. So, any more stardom, sit-ems, anything?
No, that's all I got right now.
Okay.
You know what? I will give another start, which is kind of obvious too, and you may be able to sneak in last minute. Is of course the Eagles' defense.
I thought he was going to say start Patrick Mahomes versus the Jets.
I'm going against the grain. I'm going to start Patrick Mahomes today, guys. If you have him, get him in your lineup. He might be on your bench. No, the Eagles, the Birds' defense, man, are going to come after the Italian Stallion today. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're going to come after him. They should stack the box against Zeke.
Lot of sacks too. Zeke's been fumbling, so opportunities at maybe some turnovers. Yeah, I thought he might say, sit Stevie Wonder as the kicker for the Cowboys today.
Yeah.
But you ready for my picks there, Coach?
No, I'm not ready yet. Hold on.
Okay, just tell me when you're ready, buddy.
Nevada
I'll
Nick.
get into them.
You broke your thumb. And if you don't want Taco breaking your thumbs, then listen to Nick's picks exclusively in the Huddle with Coach Muddle.
Now,
all right. So I'm going to start it off with my first pick, and this is the one I like the most, honestly. I told, and Stizz will say, man, so last week was the first week I liked some games. Me and Stizz usually talk to each other on Monday and say, you look at the lines, what do you like? Before Monday, too, we'll say, what do we think the lines are going to be? We did the Chiefs game, and I remember I said, I thought it was going to be higher. Stizz had thought 17, I think, or 16 and a half, Stizz.
Yeah. I think it would open like that and then move up gradually.
Right, he did say it would move up, obviously. And it has.
Dead on.
Yeah. So, but, this week I saw some things, and I like some things. It's been tough this year. It really has with the not knowing who the home field advantage and everything. So it's really been tough to kind of try to handicap these games and all. But I finally feel like I said, last week I went 5-2. I hit the Falcons on Thursday. So, starting to, I think, feel good and like what I see. First game I'm going to go with is the Dolphins. Dolphins +4 at home against the Rams. Rams, short week, okay? So you got a short week, played on Monday night. They are playing on the East Coast. So they're going West Coast to East Coast for a 1 o'clock game. That's 10 o'clock in L.A. So they're playing, you got a short week going West Coast to East Coast. Miami coming off a bye. Tua playing his first game. I just think this is a really good spot for the Dolphins. They're 3-3. You want to get to 4-3, get over 500, and put some pressure on the Bills. Let them know we're coming. And look, it's very possible. I said it earlier in the show. So I love the Dolphins +4 today. I think they're going to win this game outright. I really do. I like the Dolphins today. I think this is more of a, the Rams, they've beaten the Bears and the 4 NFC East teams. So I think the Rams are a better team than they were last year. But I'm also not sold that they're a 5-2 team. They did beat the Bears, but Bears played sloppy. Foles missed a couple obvious touchdown passes. I mean, 2 or 3 of them where he had guys just going straight down the field for a touchdown and missed them. So, I mean, look, Bears are a good, decent team, but still, that's really the Rams' only impressive win in my eyes. So I'm going to go Dolphins +4 today. Then I'm going to go over to Cleveland. I like the Raiders +2.5. Against the Browns. This is a must-win in my eyes for the Raiders. Yeah, I think this is a must-win for the Raiders. I really do. If they lose this game, let's not forget, Browns are one of the teams they're going to be, because I don't think the AFC West is possible for the Raiders this year. I think that's going to be the Chiefs. But, the Browns are going to be one of the teams the Raiders are fighting with for a wild card spot. Right. So, obviously there's 3 of them this year. 7 teams are going to, one more extra team is going to make the playoffs. So you want to win this game. Because they lose this game, now you're 3-4, okay? And they got the Chiefs coming up in 2 weeks as well. So you're 3-4, and then obviously the Browns will be 6-2, or are they 5-2? But the Browns would obviously have a nice little jump over them and get the tiebreaker. So this is a big game for the Raiders today. I think you're going to see that offense come out. fire on all cylinders. And look, Baker Mayfield, he did look good last week, but everybody looks good when they're playing the Bengals defense. So I think, he comes back down to earth a little bit today. Big game for the Raiders. Raiders plus 2.5. Then I'm going to go out to probably the game of the week. This should be the Sunday night game, not the Eagles-Cowboys. I hate to say that, but this should be the Sunday night game. This is a great rivalry. Always great games being played. Now, let me say, I don't think the Ravens are the better team. I don't. I think the Steelers are. This is a bad spot for the Steelers. Steelers are 6-0. They're due for a loss. Ravens coming off a bye. They are 36-13 in November, okay? They're 10-2 under Harbaugh coming off the bye. So I just think this is a really good spot for the Ravens. And this is a big game for the Ravens, okay? Ravens might be 5-1, but let's not forget, okay, you lose this game, you're 5-2. Steelers are 7-0. And you're 3 games behind them because they have the tiebreaker now.
Right.
With 8 to play or 9 to play. That's not good. This is a very big game for the Ravens. I think the Ravens come out. I think you're going to see them. Ravens like to jump on you early, get ahead. I think you're going to see them do that. I just think today's one of those games. Like I said, I think in the long run, these teams play again on Thanksgiving night at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh will win that game. But I like the Ravens -4 today. I think Pittsburgh comes back on Thanksgiving night and gets revenge. I think Pittsburgh's the better team. I think they will win the division. But I think today it's a bad spot for the Steelers. Take the Ravens -4.
I like it.
Okay. And then my next game, I'm going to go to Detroit against Indy. I like the Lions +3. Lions are 3-3, playing a little better. They've lost some tough games this year. I think the Colts are kind of a lot like last year, where they started really good early and then struggled. Brissett struggled. I like the team. I like the coach. I don't like the quarterback. And I've said that all year. I just don't like Rivers. I think Patricia's going to really try to take away the run and try to stop the run and make them throw the ball. And that's really been in Rivers, man, if he feels pressure, he'll throw it up there sometimes too. He's had some bad turnovers, some bad pick sixes. So I'm going to go with the Lions +3 today at the Lions. And then in my last game, look, man, they're going to let Russ cook. I like the Seahawks coming off, but I think should have been a win anyway. There were some questionable calls down the stretch. I bet the game, but even forget about the money. There were some questionable calls as just watching the game and analyzing it. There were some bad calls that didn't go the Seahawks' way. They probably win that game. I think the Seahawks -3. Playing the Niners come out. Niners have bounced back a little bit here since that bad loss to Miami. But I think Russell Wilson with that defense and not being able to get pressure on Wilson, he's going to eat them up. And then, I know the Seahawks defense struggles, but I'm not in love with Jimmy G. No. So I think they're going to be able to contain him a little bit more than that Niners D is going to be able to contain Russell Wilson. So that's why I like the Seahawks -3 today. And those are my picks.
All right, good deal. Good deal. Yeah, Angela agrees with you.
It's the truth, Angela. I mean, it is an absolute 100% must win. You don't want to be 3-4 and thinking about, playing the Chiefs. I think it's in 2 weeks. I mean, and look, the Raiders got some winnable games coming up here, but it's definitely a must win for the Raiders today.
Yeah, they're going to get Jacobs going, man. Jacobs has been,
mediocre. And that's the tone for that team, Stizz.
Yeah, I just don't get it, man. I thought he would be having a way better season than he is as of now. Now, we'll see. We talked about him trying to get the ball in open area, receptions wise, and he's just been mediocre so far. Yeah. So I love him. Yeah. I have him in a couple of my fantasy squads, and I look for big outputs from him, but we'll see. Well,
it makes Carr better too when they run the ball. Now, Trent Brown, I think he's Trent Brown's a big boy, loves to run the ball. I think him being in and out of the lineup is kind of effective because they got a good line too. But that's their identity to me. Gruden's always been Gruden grinders. Gruden's always loved to run the ball, and that sets the tone for his offense. It really does. And yeah, I mean, look, Carr's had a good season, but he has costly turnovers, Derek Carr, that I think can cost him sometimes. He's got to stop fumbling that football, hold on to the ball. And, like I said, but I think you're going to see a lot of Jacobs today. You got to get him going. I know he was a little nicked up early too, Stizz.
Yeah.
But you got to get him going, get Ruggs over the top, get Waller going, because that Raiders offense, there's no excuses, man. You know, Gruden put the team on the field. There's weapons all over the field. You got Ruggs, Waller, Jacobs, a good line. Derek Carr has been provided with the tools to be successful.
I think Ruggs has a big game today too. I mean, Waller, we know. I mean, it's Mr. Consistent. I mean, he's going to get you, 6 for 60, pretty much every game, without blinking his eye, really. But I think Ruggs has a big game today too, and I agree with you. I think they used Jacobs on the ground a lot today against that Cleveland defense.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out this morning. Enjoy your Sunday fun day with your teams. Hopefully you make some shekels with Nevada Nick and Stizz, taking advantage of them.
Yeah.
And we'll be back, everyone, tomorrow. We'll talk Giants, Buccaneers, and recap all these other games.
And then tonight, Coach, Eagles 20, and tonight, Eagles 24-17. That's my score.
Wow. Okay. Close one.
Yeah. I just think, look, Dallas is 0-7 against the spread. So that just tells me, I mean, look, Vegas is going to, when you got a team like that hasn't won a game yet, you're going to inflate the line. And I think this line is inflated.
It is.
The Eagles kill them, no doubt. I mean, that defense is horrendous. You got a third-string QB playing. But, man, you would hope, Coach Stizz, that this is going to be Dallas's, if anything else, their best effort. Because, man, they're getting killed. I mean, they are. They're pathetic. I mean, everybody's killing the team. They're embarrassing. You'd think you'd at least get a good effort tonight. But we'll see.
I'm going to give you 31-17 Birds.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a blowout.
You guys both think Dallas can score 17 points.
I mean, we'll see. Maybe they trip the end zone. Who knows?
I think you're going to see a lot of Zeke, too. You got to try to help this kid tonight. Yeah.
All right.
What else do they have?
All right, 13-10 Dallas.
Wow. Okay.
just a stick. Whatever. Who cares? And then guess what? Eagles bye. We beat the Giants, baby.
Okay.
Coach smoking them funny cigars again.
Yeah, he is.
All right, everyone. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure if you haven't already done it, go over to YouTube, subscribe, ring the bell, like our page. And if you want to listen to us in a podcast, Apple, Spotify, Anchor, just go over, download it, listen to us. Coach Muddle, type it in any one of your platforms, and you can reach out to me, Instagram, Twitter. It's Coach Muddle. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a fun Sunday.